Hey everybody, it's Jewelyn. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to one of my favorite series on my channel, a collective video featuring my Pothos. Now there's major construction happening in the front of my home with my neighbor's house, so I haven't been able to film all day, but I think they took a lunch break, so I wanted to go ahead and do a collective video that wasn't too long but still being able to share with you a handful of plants that I love dearly. And I am heading to Oakland in 2 days, so time is ticking, so I hope you guys enjoy this short little collective series. I was thinking, what plants could I talk about today? And I figured, why not talk about the common Pothos or Pothos, and I am in love with these house plants. I do have a few of them and I wanted to share with you as much as I can where I bought them from, if I can remember them, and how long I have them, and I'll talk about the one that I'm struggling with the most. I hope you guys enjoy this series. The first one I want to talk about is my oldest Pothos, which I want to say I got in Las Vegas. I am not too sure at this point. I've had this plant now for well over 2 years. So here's my oldest Pothos, and I want to say it's just an all green jade Pothos. I do see a little variegation of gold on here, but I want to say it's a jade Pothos and not a golden Pothos. I don't think I have the common gold Pothos in my collection just because I do see it everywhere. So this particular plant is living in a cobalt blue planter, and I just have it staked up on the wooden stake that it came with from the nursery. I've had this plant now for over 2 years, and it lives right in front of my plant shelfie where all my succulents live in my patio, and it actually was like trailing up the shelf at one point, and I did cut it back. I would love to try to figure out a different way how to style this Pothos. As you can see, it's pretty hardy and there is lots of aerial roots on this plant. So Pothos are very easy propagators, and I love being able to share from my plant babies. So we'll see where this plant will be for the upcoming future as far as for styling. For now, it's just living on the stake that it came with. I don't think I've ever switched out the plant out of this planter, so this has been its forever home for over 2 years. But as you can see, it's doing pretty good. It's been living in my patio full time. Even when I do decide to do a switch up on how I want to style the plant or maybe put it in a different planter, I will definitely share that in an upcoming planting with Jewelyn. But I want to say there's multiple trails on here, at least a good 6 or so, and I love looking at this because it's one of my oldest plants in my collection as far as for here in Santa Monica. So let's talk about one of my favorite trailing plants in my collection, and I want to say it's one of my favorites because it is neon, and I'm trying to remember where I got this plant. I might have gotten it in West Hollywood, I'm not too sure. This is a very fragile plant, so I try to not touch it. I know the last time I touched it, like one of the trails fell off and I had to propagate it. But as you can see, there's a nice trail coming through right here. This particular plant now lives in my one macrame hanger in my studio where it's like 3-decker, and this one is living on the top. It does get natural sunlighting from my one window in my home, but today it is living outside on my Tiffany blue table to get a little bit more natural sunlight. And I have it in a cobalt blue planter, so apparently I love having Pothos in a cobalt blue planter, especially with the neon leaf. I think it looks really attractive in a cobalt blue planter. So I would like to see how long it's gonna take for these other trails to come through and cascade over the planter. I am very fascinated to neon foliage. This is also living in the same area where my heartleaf neon philodendron lives as well, and I love seeing them together side by side. I think they look absolutely adorable, and they do pop out when it comes to coloring in my collection. So super cute. Again, all of these plants for the most part are common for me, so if I wanted to go ahead and repurchase them or get them bigger and fill up the planter, I could do that. But sometimes I just like getting the plants smaller and see them grow on me, and this is one of them. My silver satin Pothos. So this is actually a cutting, and I could easily get another one like this, a big mother plant, and fill up the planter, but I want to just go ahead and just stick with this cutting. As you can see, it's doing really well. I love the Scindapsus pixis. The silver satin Pothos is really cool. I have this variation where it's bigger and the smaller one. I love them equally both. This is living full-time on my baker's rack in my home, and this planter I want to say I got from Chinatown here in downtown LA. and so far so good. As you can see, there's 2 trails popping through. And again, this is a pretty common houseplant for me, so if I want to go ahead and purchase the plant and have a big mother plant and fill it up, I could go ahead and do that. But I just want to enjoy the cutting that I have, and it's doing so good. If you look here on the bottom, there is some new growth popping through, which is so adorable. And I will keep you guys posted on how well this one does for me. I haven't had any problems with this cutting. I think I put it right away in dirt when I got it because it was a rooted cutting. But as you can see, it's loving life on my baker's rack, where it gets, for the most part, I want to say a fair amount of sun because it's right by the window. So here's kind of the style of the plant and planter. I really love the patterns of the leaf and like how there's that silvery tinge to it. It's like a really metallic sheen leaf. I love that a lot. Here is another variation. I really love this one, and this is a full-grown mother plant. As you can see, there's lots of trails here. This you will see hanging in my bathroom, where I have my plants hanging on the bathroom door on closet hooks. I love that a lot. So the door hooks works really well for me when it comes to hanging plants on my doors. I think I have like 6 of them right now hanging amongst the bathroom. I love seeing this one in my bathroom. Now I've had this plant, I want to say well over a year. I got this from my local nursery here in Santa Monica, and after I purchased that plant there, I kind of like tend to see the plant come up more in different plant nurseries that I do visit. So for me, this is a common house plant. There's probably going to be a switch out in the future when I get the right planter for this plant. I find that with the terracotta, it dries out really quickly, and I feel like this particular trailing house plant doesn't like to be dried out really quickly. So I think in the future I would like to get another planter that's not terracotta and then do a quick switch out. But for now, I'm just gonna have to keep watering it quite often, and it'll just live in this setup. But it's in a macrame hanger terracotta planter. I love the aesthetic of it. I think if for now, with this particular setup being in terracotta, I would probably maybe have to water this plant twice a week to be on top of it before it starts drying out. But anytime I go to the bathroom to shower or to get ready, I'm like, okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the condition of this plant baby and see how it's doing. I mean, there's lots of new growth popping through on the bottom, so I know it's happy. And I do like to miss this particular trailing baby twice a week, and it loves living in my bathroom because of the humidity and the diffused lighting. So I think the only thing I want to switch out is just the planter to something that's not as breathable, so I don't have to tend to the plant as much as I am now. But the plant is happy, it's doing good, lots of new growth. I think just personally for me, I'm gonna do a switch out in the future, so stay tuned. You'll see this plant baby in upcoming planting with Jewelyn. And I think I've even propagated a few trails, which you'll see in my planting with Jewelyn propagating cuttings. I'm going to be going ahead and planting up a bunch of cuttings that I've been propagating in the future, and this is one plant I'm propagating as well. Not by choice, I propagate when there's fallouts and I just keep them. My Marble Queen Pothos. Now this is what's left of my original Marble Queen Pothos, which I want to say 2 years ago, guys. It was full and lush. It was living on like my coffee table out here. It was one of my prized houseplants when I first started building the collection here in Santa Monica. I don't know what happened. I traveled and it didn't like me leaving it alone, and the whole plant died. So this is what's left of it. I just have a few cuttings. I know I was trying to save a bunch of them in the greenhouse, and I don't know what happened to that, but this is what's left of my original Marble Queen Pothos, which is really sad. I have it in liquor balls in a water vessel. Now fast forward, and I think this is what prompted me to do a Pothos collective video, was my repurchase. It was a free plant of the Marble Queen Pothos. Here is my updated Marble Queen Pothos, and this is also living in leca balls. You watched it in my latest planting with Jewelyn, so both of them are living in leca balls, and I look forward to regrowing the Marble Queen Pothos. So my original one, what's left of it, and my new one, which is a baby one, but I'm not mad at that. I'm just gonna take my time growing it on my own. The variegation of the leaves is super stunning, so I love being able to have the plant again in my collection, and because it was a free plant, I was like, okay, I'll give it another try. I've never had problems with the Marble Queen Pothos until I traveled, so that's just kind of a little side note. If you're looking for an easy house plant, maybe you just might want to stick to an all green one, because when it comes to variegated leaves, it's just a little bit more finicky. But this now lives in my bathroom on my plant shelf in Liquor Balls, so this is what's left. I'm still keeping the plant, I love it, of my Marble Queen Pothos. Now let's talk about my headache besides the Marble Queen Pothos. That was like, I don't want to say it was on me, it's because I traveled in my schedule. My most headache pothos in my collection, and I'll show you what's left of both of them. So I purchased one, it didn't do good. I purchased another one, it didn't do good. Will I repurchase the plant again? No. And I think Carrie had the same problem, and she gave whatever left of that plant to. So this is what's left of both of my Pothos and Joy. Not much of it. So it's really unfortunate because both of them were really big, and I want to say I got both of them from my favorite plant nursery in West Hollywood, which I just refeatured on my channel, and they both, well, kind of withered to pieces. So sound off down below, guys, do you seem to have the same problem when it comes to the Pothos and Joy, or do you have an easy time growing it? Because personally for me, I think this is a headache plant. I don't know why. I've treated it like all my other trailing house plants, water it every week, mist it every week, and it was living in my patio in like a shaded area, but for whatever reason both of them didn't do good. So I won't repurchase the plant anymore. I usually purchase the plant up to 3 times. Here's my original one, here's what's left of my second one, and this is now living in my greenhouse trying to survive. I might end up putting some in Liquor Balls and see what happens, but this is probably the one plant out of all the plants that I talked about today that I wouldn't suggest buying. Sound off down below if you have an easy time with the Pothos and Joy. Do you also find it to be a drama plant? I know Carrie can agree with me that this is a drama plant for her as well. That is going to wrap up my collective video featuring my Pothos collection. I think I got them all. There may be a few others that I don't see, but for the most part, I think I was able to feature all of them today. The Pothos is a very common house plant, and I just wanted to share with you where my common houseplant collective is for the Pothos, and where and what I have been struggling with. And I also wanted to share with you the Pothos that do really well with me and the ones that don't do well with me. So I hope you guys enjoyed this short collective video. I wanted to keep it short and sweet because they are doing construction, and I think they're on their lunch break, and they're actually using my power cord to my fountain to power the tools. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna power my fountain and do a quick video before they return back. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm teaching my night classes tonight. I have my one day off tomorrow to do all things YouTube and prep for my dance intensive, and then I will be flying out to Oakland. I'm gonna be flying up to SFO and then going over to East Bay for a handful of days to dance all day every day for a whole week, which is my summer annual intensive for my belly dance school. So I'm gonna try to do some content out there on my lunch break, because while I'm training is when the nursery hours are for all the plant nurseries in the area. So by the time I'm done dancing, they're all closed. So last year I was able to do a few come with me's on my lunch break, so let's see if I can do that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this collective video. Sound off down below if you have any of the Pothos that I shared in today's video. And do you find them to be easy growers or finicky growers? See, there's so many different characteristics to it. I love the neon foliage. I love the variegation of the silver satin Pothos and the texture of it. And there's just so many characteristics to this common houseplant that I do adore. So I hope you guys enjoyed this short collective video. I'll see you guys tomorrow. You can find more on my blog at ILOVEJEWELYN.blogspot.com. If you're new, welcome to the channel. Hit the bell and subscribe button to be notified on my daily upload. Stay tuned because my grandma and I will be doing a clean with me before I head to Oakland, which I'm really excited to sit down and have her back on the channel and do more plant care. So I hope you guys enjoy this series. Stay tuned for more, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Until next time, aloha from Santa Monica, California. Bye!